Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on Cool FM Live for our Cochise County Sports Show. I'm Dave Davies. That's Paul Condor over there. And right in the middle, the star of the show, head coach Dennis Baker. Good morning, boys.
Good morning. Good morning.
I tell that story all the time. Just wouldn't be me in baseball recognitions without my name being spelled wrong. But, I mean, that's where we're at now. But this is, as always, brought to you by Synergy Home Care Sierra Vista, providing non-medical home care all across Cochise and Santa Cruz County. Call them today at 520-685-1035.
Also brought to you by Sierra Vista Golf Center at Pueblo Del Sol. Come get the Vista card. There's rounds of golf for like $25 after 1 o'clock. They got free lessons for kids once a week. They got sip and putt for the ladies. Sierra Vista Golf Center, the place to be. It's beautiful outside. We're not kidding. We'll be out there in about an hour. Make a nice, quick, efficient show because I want to get to the golf course.
But you couldn't do the show outside, though. So
it's chilly out there right now.
It's warming up as we speak.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us on the Cochise County Sports Show. As promised, we always have official AIA rankings. A little quick. Coach is like, you got them already? I'm like, yeah, we do. We're going to go over the AFC NFC Championship game and cover everything Cochise County basketball.
I don't have that on my agenda. What? I don't have that on my agenda. I don't have any football coverage at all.
And then we have Dave's diatribe as well to close the show out. But let's go ahead and start jumping into our Cochise County basketball. Dave, you choose this time. Where do you want to start?
As always, the Buena Colts. Let's talk about the Lady Colts.
Let's go.
Lady Colts are 6-10 on the year, 0-4 in their region. They lost to Rincon this week. They lost to Nogales. They did beat Desert View 62-30. They are at home on Thursday against Cienega, which we know is a rivalry game. Get out there and support your Lady Colts. Just on the year, I don't have any game stats. Isis Perez, coach knows about her. 8 points, 8 rebounds. London Richardson and what is this? Khalil
Palacios, yeah.
Leading the team in steals.
All right.
So Buena Lady Colts. Again, you got Cienega this week. Who cares whether you make the playoffs or not? Beat Cienega. That's all
right.
Anybody in Buena cares about.
Well, Coach,
Cienega.
your daughter
right.
plays on that. We talked to Jeremy Booker last night. I guess he's got a little sister on the team. And
well, he had an older sister that played on the team previously. Yeah.
Shout out Kobe Collins, Kendrick Copeland, and Sylvia Collins because I noticed that their daughter is actually playing on the team.
Yeah.
Small world, anyway.
Yeah. Small town for sure.
For sure. Those Buena Lady Colts.
Playing in Tombstone.
He wanted to.
What?
I'm not. I know exactly why he's playing in Tombstone. I'm not saying anything.
Let's get to the stars of our show. We were there last night. Only won by 35. The Buena Colts.
Just good enough to drop in the rankings. And Ryan Russell's back up. Says, yo, Ryan, finally back in our chat. How you doing, Ryan? Appreciate the shout out. The Buena Colts did win last night. No, they didn't get the stats in time, Coach. It's on you. What are you going to do?
Okay.
But last week they went 2-0. They had a 7-game. They're on a 7-game winning streak right now. The Buena Colts 15-4 overall, 5-0 in sections. They beat Flowing Wells. They beat Nogales. Seems like this team could draw a crowd. Really. Let's talk about Zeus Pacheco averaging in those 2 games 16 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and 5 steals in those 2 games. Jamin Booker, 11 points, 8 rebounds, and Sam Criado, 9 points, 6 rebounds from the smallest kid on the court and 3 assists a game.
Before we go to Coach over here, here's what I love about those numbers right there. You said Booker only averaged 11 a game. So Jamin Booker's not even being asked to carry this team right now, and yet they're still winning by 30 and 40 points a game. What happens when Booker does decide to play? I mean, not decide to play. What happens when Booker does put up those huge numbers? Because right now he doesn't need to. Clark had 17 last night. We had 4 players in double digits last night.
18. Clark had 18.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And Booker's not even scoring at 25 a game, which he could be doing.
He could. I think you say it right there, Dave, is that he is letting the teammates get involved. And, I mean, as Coach knows, you're going to need those players down the stretch to make big shots. And like you said, Jamin hasn't even decided to take the game over. Zeus has decided to take games over. So, you like to see that. But, Coach, your thoughts on your boys?
Just a lot of gratitude and humility. We're happy to be where we're at right now, which, is total team effort. You guys highlighting some of our guys, and it kind of shows the unselfish nature of our team and these players. Because you're right, Jamin can score over 20 points a night. So could Zeus. So could Kingston. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Julian Duran has had nights like that. Sam Criado. We have a group of players that could take over a game at any given time, and if they were more selfish, could the numbers could reflect that a little bit more. But our goal is being the best team we can be and trying to, have the best season we could possibly have, and with championship aspirations, at least for our region. And in order to do that, you gotta have a full team of guys that are confident, that are bought in, and that's what we have right now. So it's all good.
Championship for your region, Coach. We can start talking about the whole thing right now, brother. You know what I love about these kids, Julian Duran. These kids make me look like a genius. That three in the second half, he'll tell you. That three in the second half before the ball got into Duran's hands, I'm like,
yeah, you already know. Yeah,
my hand's already up before he even shot the ball.
Yeah.
I'm like,
he won't let you down often. He won't let you down.
not that wide open. He won't.
Yeah, that's great analysis, Coach. And we said it last night because we always say the JV team, they're winning every other division in Cochise County if you put them out there. And last night I saw them. I'm like, they win the 5. Is it Sonoran or Southern?
Southern
For basketball.
Yeah.
I was like, they win the 5A Southern this year. Like the Buena Colt basketball team is that deep, and
Factory.
Man.
Yeah,
Congratulations again,
we
Coach.
love it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's a factory now in Buena. It's like you look what the JV team is doing. Like we got the next 4 years. Like we're okay right now.
Yeah.
We got a lot of comments coming in here. Ryan Russell says, ball in, says, come on, Coach. Talking about Sam Criado saying not the size, as Dave likes to say about the rebounding. He says it's also good to let people get reps. And Gerald Morgan in the chat says, good morning, guys. How you doing, Gerald?
What's up, brother?
Let's go ahead and jump over now to the Douglas Bulldogs, the second hottest team in Cochise County, probably in both as well, as they are now 13-7, 4-0 in sections. They were 2-0 last week. They beat Amphitheater and they beat Rio Rico, and they are currently on a 6-game winning streak.
Which means they dropped in the rankings, of course.
It means they're good enough to squeak in the playoffs, maybe. Who knows? But anyway, Douglas Bulldogs. Oh, I do actually have stats on them. Don't know why I'm putting that away. Diego Lopez in these 2 games averaged 20 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 steals per game.
That boy good.
Cesar Durant against Rio Rico had 19 points, the second leading scorer on the team. We know he can get hot. Cesar, shout out, 19 points against Rio Rico. I think they put up some ungodly number, like 91 points in that game. Ryan Felix in that game as well had 24 points, 5 assists, 4 steals, and 3 blocks. Douglas Bulldogs, for a powerhouse, according to everyone except the AIA.
Well, all you got to do is watch them play, and you know what they are. Let's talk about the Douglas ladies. We've already made well note of the
shout out Scarlett Ruiz. We're not going to forget. Hashtag never forget.
Significant injury that was suffered by them. It doesn't slow them down. They're 19-3. They're 4-1 in their region. They beat Rio Rico. They beat Choya 72-16. The Douglas Lady Bulldogs. They got Sabino.
And it wasn't even that close.
It wasn't even close. They got Sabino this week. Like I said, we lost Scarlett Ruiz. It's going to fall down to Francia Rubio, Carolina Anguiano, Evelyn Gonzalez. You're good enough. Man down, next man up. Let's go, girls.
Yeah,
you're still the class of 4A basketball.
Gerald Morgan in the chat says, we went to Texas Roadhouse last night. Anyway, but yeah, Coach, a little bit of adversity coming from the Douglas Lady Bulldogs 2 years in a row. Unfortunately, their state title aspirations could be gone, but they're definitely going to make a deep run in straight. And for the boys, you know all about the boys. Talk to us about the Douglas boys Bulldogs team and why they should be ranked ahead of where they're ranked. Spoiler, they're coming out soon.
Well, I think, Douglas is a real good basketball team. They have quality players that are upperclassmen at this point. That's usually what you need to make a deep run and to be a team with championship aspirations, and they're all that for sure. I think ranking sometimes they
don't make sense.
The teams in the south of Tucson don't always get a lot of love and respect because there's so many teams in the metro area that get most of the respect, and rightfully so in some ways because that's where those games are mostly seen. So for us below, south of Tucson, we don't always, they're just looking at your opponents you play, whether you win, how much you win by. We don't always get that respect, but that will come. I mean, it will come if you keep doing your thing, and I'm sure Douglas and their coaching staff, they're on the same energy that we're on, which is, hey, let's just take care of whoever we're playing against. Let's just focus on that game, and everything else will take care of itself by the end of the season for sure.
You said the Lady Bulldogs are 19-3?
Oh, that's correct.
All right. We're going to fly through this. We're going to get to the rankings because I got a bone to pick with a lot of people.
Let's go to, let's see. Oh, a team that I enjoyed watching last week, the Benson Lady Bobcats.
Kaylee Taylor.
1,000 points, Kaylee. We got to watch her score 999 of those points. They decided to save the last point for the home game in Benson. Kaylee Taylor, she's a show. They played Bisbee last week. We know how that went. No reason to recover that game. They also beat St. Augustine. They beat Chandler Prep. Benson, all of a sudden, the Benson Lady Bobcats are on a heater right now. They're home against Morenci, and they're at Chandler Prep this week. Let's see here. Kaylee Taylor, 16-12, 2-6. And that they already beat Chandler Prep. They're playing them again, but in that game, 16-12, 2-6. Aubrey Moon, 21 points, 3 rebounds, 4 steals. They're home against Morenci and at San Miguel. Excuse me, I read that incorrectly. But yes, the Benson Lady Bobcats on a heater right now.
I just said something that made me think of. You seen the clip, the new coach of the Jaguars? Duval.
No, I did not.
It's cringe. I just did that. So anyway, we'll jump over to the Benson boys team. Sorry about it, everyone that had to hear that. The Benson Bobcats currently 8-16, 4-1 in the regions, 1-1 last week. They beat St. Augustine Catholic and they lost to the Bisbee Pumas. And we were talking to Coach Montillo. They had aspirations that they beat Bisbee. They had Morenci and Desert Christian. It's all there for the taking, and they could still make the postseason. And it's looking okay that they can do that, but they have to handle business.
Yeah. After the Bisbee loss, there's no more losing
leeway. You're on a very short lease. Let's talk about Luke Chapman, somebody we haven't brought up a lot. Sophomore for the Benson Bobcats, averaged 14 points and 3 assists this last week. Dawson Judd averaged 12 and 12. 12 points, 12 rebounds, which lets you know why Harley Van Wormer couldn't get on the stat sheet because selfishly Dawson Judd wanted all the rebounds. Dominic Villa, of course, the baller out there in Benson, 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists per game for the Benson Bobcats. So, again, Benson, everything's in front of them, but they got to handle business. Jump over to the Bisbee Pumas. They went 2-0 last week.
Show them the ring. The Bisbee Pumas.
12-10. I wear this everywhere. I'm sorry. It falls off and everything. 12-10, 5-3 in sections. They did beat Santa Rita at the McHale Center last week, and they did beat the Benson Bobcats. So, Sebastian Lopez this last week in 2 games had 29 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. He actually had 32 or 34. I can't remember what it was against the Benson
36.
Bobcats. There you go. Attaboy. That's why I keep him around, folks. He knows that. Hunter Wright averaged 11 points, 5 assists, and 2 rebounds per game. And the Cisco kid I want to give a shout-out to because he did average 4 rebounds per game and haven't shouted him out yet.
He had some big minutes for the Bisbee Pumas, especially in that Benson game.
Things that don't show up on the stat sheet, I still try to get those kids involved, especially when we're at the game. We could see their impact in the game.
Yeah, no, Cisco kid had a big game against Benson, big minutes. Lady Pumas, 10-9, 4-4 in the region. They lost to Benson. We'll leave it at that. We know what happened that night. They are home against St. Augustine Catholic this week. I will be at that game. I don't know if you'll be there, but I'll be at that game. And they're at the Gregory School. Alyssa Lopez, Yasleen Hernandez, the Beast. Those are the big stars of the Bisbee Pumas. I don't have any numbers on them, but we know what they are. Number 15, Alyssa Lopez.
Nicole
She's a star.
Seha.
She's a confident young lady.
Don't forget Seha's their primary ball handler.
She's been hanging out with Jackson Alvarez too much.
We'll jump over to a team that Coach knows, and I want to get your thoughts on this, Coach Baker. Don't look now. The Tombstone Yellow Jackets are on a 3-game winning streak.
Are they really?
Hey.
Okay, so they played Patagonia last night. The stats weren't in. I just assumed they won, so if they did,
They
sorry
beat
about it.
Patagonia, yes.
They definitely beat Patagonia. Last week, they went 2-0. They beat San Miguel, and they beat the Wilcox Cowboys. That is an enormous win for the Tombstone Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, it
7-14 on the season, 2-6 in regions. Not necessarily a postseason type year for the Yellow Jackets, but a year that they will look back on, the seniors, that if they start this program next year in the right direction, they'll be like, this is what catapulted it.
What it can be, yeah.
And you know the boys over there, Coach, in Tombstone. Talk a little bit about the players they have, Kobe, and, of course.
Yeah, Kobe for sure, and because we mentioned him earlier, he's a really good player. Also have I noticed Jeremiah Malone was playing, and
they just got him.
He just started playing. He wasn't with the team earlier in the season, and he is a really special player.
I haven't seen that kid yet.
He's good, and he's a senior. Him and Kobe with that backcourt, that's a totally different team. than what they had earlier in the season. I hope he can stay with the team and play the rest of the season because, like you said, what you can build on for the future and stuff like that, and even just for them and that senior class of boys. I know, they went through a lot, during their time at Tombstone basketball, and it would be good for them, and it is good for them. They would win 3 games in a row, keep that going, and try to play your best basketball towards the end. So not every team, and in fact, most teams don't have championship aspirations anyway. So what you try to get from the sport and from the season is as much success as you could squeeze out of it. And from where Tombstone was to where they are now and where they're projecting, they have to feel good about it right now.
Before you go, Dave, we have a comment from Mayor Clea McCaw in our chat. I am not joking. Shout out to the mayor. Says, great show. Good to see Coach Baker. Keep up the great work. Of course, the Buena Colts.
We got to get ratings somehow. It ain't going to be for me.
Dave, let's talk about before we move on to the ladies, shout out head coach for the Tombstone Yellow Jacket football team, Dominic Bonilla, who's just accepted the Rio Rico job last week. Congratulations to him.
That's a life upgrade right there.
We'll have to see how Rio Rico does. Maybe now we go to the Douglas Rio Rico game if it's in Douglas, Arizona. And even if it's not, Rio Rico's an hour away.
Yeah, right. Just say hi to Coach Bonilla. Oh, you mentioned
congrats to Coach Bonilla.
You mentioned Patagonia. Let's talk about the Lady Yellow Jackets. They did lose to Wilcox last week, but they beat Patagonia 49-5.
Sounds about right.
49-5.
That's a little off night.
How'd they score the 5? They got Tombstone. They got Santa Rita and Morenci this week. Rachel Thursby's averaging 19 and 3 right now. Briella Schuler, 10 rebounds a game. The Tombstone Lady Yellow Jackets, it's yours for the taking. Go get it.
They're good.
And
really good.
last play in my 2A here, let's talk about the Wilcox Cowgirls. 15 and 7 on the year, 5 and 3 in their region. They're looking good. They beat Globe. They beat Tombstone. They did lose to Morenci. They are at San Miguel this week, and they are home against Desert Christian. In that Globe game, Kennedy Ebert, 18.7 rebounds. Paisley Adams, 14.7 rebounds, 2 assists. And Maddie Bennett, 12 points, 11 rebounds. So the Wilcox Cowgirls are good. They're good. They're good.
I gotta say one more thing.
Oh, please.
Tombstone
Say whatever you want.
Before we go off. I'm pretty sure it's senior night for Tombstone. Tombstone tonight.
Oh, is it tonight?
I believe so. We might want to double check that, but I'm pretty sure.
No, I think they're in Benson tonight.
Oh, is it?
I think.
No. Morenci's in Benson.
Oh, Morenci's in Benson. That's right. Oh, yeah. No, yeah. You know more than I do. What am I talking
I'm
about?
pretty sure it's their senior night, so that might be a good opportunity for local fans. If not, go support Tombstone. The boys are getting it together. Girls are obviously
very good
championship contention team. So, and last game for some of those guys that we said, Jeremiah, Kobe. For the girls, Rachel Thursby, potentially her last game or last home game.
One of the best lady ballers to ever do it.
So.
You got to assume out of Tombstone.
Shout out to Tombstone.
Yeah, that's why we bring them on the show. So I didn't know that. We do as much studying as we can. I didn't know it was senior night
early,
tonight.
but we might want to double check that. But I'm pretty sure we got the invitation.
Well, there's only like 4 or 5 games left in the season. Good
Yeah.
chance they end on a 3-game road stretch. Ryan Russell back in the chat says practice.
Practice.
I don't know what he's talking about, but
I don't know. Most of the time he knows what he's talking
we'll
about.
get over. No,
kidding with you, right?
We'll go over to the Wilcox Cowboys. 11 and 10 on the season, 4 and 4 in sections, and boy, did they have a tough week last week. Lost to Morenci, lost to Tombstone. And those games, though, Caden Hooper, again, continues his rise, his meteoric rise as one of the best ballers in Cochise County. Averaged 19 points, only 3 rebounds, but playing against Morenci, they're a banging body team. They know how to get those rebounds. 2 assists, 1 steal, 3 blocks per game, so he did get the blocks. Ty Scholl, shout out, had averaged 5 points and 2 assists per game. And Jerry Reyes averaged 4.7 rebounds and 4 assists per game.
His numbers don't tell the story with Jerry Reyes. He does a lot more for that team than those numbers dictate.
For sure, I would agree with that. And the Wilcox Cowboys, man, they had it all in front of them.
Him and JoJo Rodriguez, they do a lot more for that team than the numbers.
It's going to be a struggle for any 2A team out of Cochise County to make the playoffs this year. And this late in the season, it's like the old BCS days of college football. You just can't lose.
Somebody get us to Prescott.
Especially when they're beating each other up right now.
They are.
Exactly.
And they still have Desert Christian, who won a Benson Holiday Classic against the 4A Douglas team, and everyone knows how we feel about Douglas. And then they have Morenci, so the top 2 teams are pretty much set. Everyone's fighting for that third.
Yeah.
that third place, and that's not even an automatic qualifier. So.
All right.
It is what it is. Let's jump over to our 1A AIA division, where Dave's probably going to take over because I don't have anything. We'll start off with the San Simon Longhorns. The boys 5-14, 3-4 in sections, so pretty good in sections here for the first time they've had a varsity program in a long time. 1-1 last week. They did beat Lourdes Catholic, and they lost to Duncan, which is a little bit surprising to be honest with you. But San Simon 5-14, 3-4 in sections.
The girls again. I didn't even know this team existed. 13-12, 5-2 in their region. They lost to Duncan last week. They beat Superior. They have San Miguel this week. No stats on them, but Holly Keel and Alizon Corrales. If you're out there watching, I'm seeing what you're doing. So that's what I got on San Simon. Let's go to Valley Union Lady Blue Devils. 7-12 on the year, 3-3 in their region. They did beat the Arizona School of Deaf and Blind. Let's see, and they beat Lourdes Catholic as well. They have St. David this week. They have Patagonia. We know they're going to win one of those games. Lexi Boss averaging 12 points a game.
Congratulations, Lexi. Over to the boys. They're still in a rebuilding year. They are 1-12. They did get that win over San Simon last week, but 2 weeks ago. But last week they were 0-3. They lost to Bobby Kivry, Lourdes Catholic, and the Arizona School for the deaf and blind. So again, Valley Union losing Landon Glenn, and then a couple players opting out. Congratulations to even fielding.
They're waiting for baseball season.
A basketball roster. Everyone's waiting for baseball season.
That's what you're talking about, the ranking disrespect. Doesn't happen in baseball season.
Oh,
they are well aware of what we are in baseball season. They're like, all right, Bisbee's 1, Tombstone's 3, Benson's 4. Like,
and
we don't get that disrespect in baseball
You
season.
guys might want to go out and watch Austin Cushman, who's been doing this since he was a sophomore. Let's get those stands filled up, not only in Buena, but also in Tombstone. I like that you said that, Coach.
Sorry, Sierra Vista. I'm going to be in Rant and Rave Sierra Vista every day this week telling you if you don't show up for that Buena game on Friday.
Micah Mountain.
I am shutting down the studio.
If you're a Cochise County fan, you need to hate Micah Mountain because they knocked the Douglas Lady Bulldogs out of the playoffs last year.
If those stands aren't full on Friday, that's it. No more games for you. My name is show up for baseball season.
And that game is Micah Mountain. That's a Vail school. They're going to travel. Their families, and it would be a shame if they were.
They outfanned us.
Yeah, that would
A real
be
shame.
ridiculous.
I saw Desert View fans in the student section at Buena yesterday, and I could have cried.
Wait a minute. Who was it? Oh, it was Benson and Bisbee, where they almost outfanned Bisbee. Like, Benson traveled so hard where you're like, they were louder than the Bisbee fans were. You're like, what?
Numbers-wise, nothing compares to the Benson Bobcats. They travel. Atmospheres are great all around. Bisbee's great. Wilcox is amazing, which is something we didn't expect because they're such a football town. They're country boys up there, and so you don't expect the basketball.
Wilcox basketball shows out.
They show out as well. And so we just need to get that all across Cochise County. And shout out to the Douglas Lady Bulldogs fans because last year, the one-off game in the playoffs, they showed up too.
In all fairness, no disrespect to the Douglas Bulldogs, we have one team in Cochise County that can win a title right now, and it is the Buena Colts.
It would have been the Lady Bulldogs too.
Right. And boys. We have one boys team that can contend for the title right now, and it's the Buena Colts. Like, I swear to you, people, I swear to you.
Douglas, they struggle on defense, but they're putting up like 90 points a game.
You know what I
It is
mean, though.
wild.
Like, Buena, before the season started, we focused on because they are the contender. The Buena Colts are the contender.
And you know what the thing is? Buena has the toughest road to go because they are playing the 5A teams that have 6'8". LeBron James is up there. They have 6'6". There's a Michael Jordan somewhere in Phoenix. In high school basketball, at least, I can guarantee.
Wait till he
it.
gets locked down by Adam Nelson. Good
Let's go back on track to
Kicking
1A.
lockdowns of people.
The St. David Tigers 9-13 up their record. They're 4-1 in sections. They went 3-0 last week, the exact opposite of Valley Union, where they beat Bobby Kivry, they beat Lourdes Catholic, and they beat the Arizona School for the Deaf and Blind. The St. David boys team may have squeaked into that playoff conversation. You never know. Stay tuned, folks.
Yeah, and they lost a lot of close games this year. The St. David girls are defending champs. 15-9 on the year, 5-0 in their region. They're back. They beat Baba Kivry 36-35. They beat the Arizona School for the Deaf and Blind 54-5.
That's not fair.
They're at Valley Union this week, and they have Mogollon. Emma Hart leading the team in scoring, 10.7 points a game. Gracie Crockett, 7 rebounds, 5 steals a game. The St. David Lady Tigers are ready to defend their title.
The glue for the Lady Tigers, Gracie Crockett. She never got as much shine until Dave started doing the stats for him. So congratulations, Gracie
St.
Crockett.
David Power Hour.
Emma Hart, just a sophomore, the primary ball handler, primary scorer for St. David Lady Tigers. They're going to be good for years and years to come. And let's not forget Evelyn Jaquez. She has the Hawkes last name. It's over. Back to back.
Factory.
This time I want a St. David one.
Like the Buena factory.
I want to look like
ripping
Bill
off the
Belichick.
St. David factory. Like Buena sees what St. David's doing. Like, we want a factory too.
All right,
let's get over. Here we go.
Let's get over to
that
the Canyon
freshman class
Athletic.
of Buena, though.
Yeah, let's get over to that Canyon Athletic real quick because I do want to talk about the AIA Guardians. They went 1-0 last week against the Northern Science. They won 43-42. They're 9-4 in the season. Noticeably absent from the box score is C.J. Williams.
You have the flu?
I don't know. But congratulations to the Guardians for pulling it out without him. And we have to give a shout out to leading scorer Deontay Echenal. 16 points in this ball game. Porter Jones, 14 points. And then Owen Onstead had 6 points. So getting it done without the leading scorer in America. Big win for the LA Guardians.
And the ALA, for any of you fans out there, I did meet Coach Williams at Texas Roadhouse.
Roadhouse.
And Coach Williams has invited us. We will be doing your last home game of the year. That's going to be on February 3rd. You get the Paul and Dave show. For CJ Williams, you better be there, baby.
You say good now, but I mean, when we get excited about something, sometimes we just start screaming.
This kid scrimmages with Mario Chalmers and Muggsy Bogues, okay? The kid has pedigree.
Mario Chalmers from Kansas, you know he can't ball.
Only one of the biggest shots in college basketball history, you know? No big deal.
He had 90 attempts at the biggest shot and finally made one. Kansas always plays a big anyway. I actually don't mind Kansas. Shout out Misty Opat. Still love you. Big Kansas City Chiefs fan.
They're only one of the biggest shots in history. No big deal.
No kidding, right? And she loves Kansas and I love Missouri, and it just is what it is. And since I've been away from that whole rivalry, I'm like, you know what, Kansas, I don't.
They're not that bad.
I don't. They are. But I don't have a visceral hatred anymore for them.
Bill Self is overrated.
For sure. Let's go over to the Buena Academy Eagles. I know you got some things on them, Dave. They are currently 1-9 for the boys, 1-5 in regions, 0-1, and they lost to TCCA 61-24. Buena Academy boys still trying to build that program. It was a struggle last year. It's going to be a struggle this year.
Once they small school.
Hey, shout out Coach Jalen Hampton for Buena Academy and that football team going back to back. That's not something that normally happens in Buena Academy basketball. They're going to be fine in a couple of years. It's just going to be a little bit later than the football team.
It's a small school. It's tough. The girls, I have no idea where they're at playoff-wise. They're 6-5, 0-2 in their region. Let's see. They didn't play last week. They have James Madison Prep at home, and they're at Skyline Gila River. Kamara Golden, 10 points, 11 rebounds. Shanna Pascal, Ilani Rascone, having a good year. Again, I don't know a lot about you. Your coaches don't message me. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Your coaches, Dave Davies, you can message me with anything you want. I'll always respond.
I did find out doing an Eastern Arizona Community College game. It's not Gila. It's actually Gila.
Gila. I knew that.
You told me Gila, and I went with that, and everyone was right.
I knew that. I'm just being stupid.
I used to call it Gila. I was like, I don't know how you guys want me to pronounce these words, but all right, the basketball teams. It is crunch time. There is no margin for error anymore. If you want to make a postseason, unless you're the Buena Colts. No, because if you guys lose, you're going to drop out of the playoffs.
Take care of business. Yes.
You keep winning, you might even get to go on the road for the playoffs.
Buena loses the game, they might end the program.
Yeah.
But everyone, it is time for you to nut up or shut up, so to speak. So here we go, folks. Crunch time for the basketball season.
Again, my next game is Bisbee on Thursday. So Bisbee,
I'll be there too.
You going to that one? Bisbee, be ready. We're coming back to Bisbee, and then we have Buena on Friday.
You forget, families tough on Barbie night if I'm gone all the time. So I did drop a game
we
this
can't
week.
go to Benson tonight because we just do too many games. We're supposed to be in Benson tonight. We can't do 4 games in a week. Cool of them will kill us.
It's a lot.
No, when you got a
Cool
daughter
will
in competition dance and the season's about to rev up. I mean, they're at the dance studio all the time.
But yeah,
so.
good luck to Benson tonight. We couldn't be there tonight. We will be in Bisbee on Thursday, Buena on Friday.
All right, let's get over to the AIA Power Rankings. I'm going to make Coach sweat, even though I told him he did drop, and I think I actually let the cat out of the bag what they're actually ranked. We're going to start off with the ladies, and we'll go to our AIA 1A teams. The Valley Union Blue Devils currently ranked 23, 7 spots away from a playoff berth. And 1A, San Simone is in the playoffs right now. The Lady Longhorns, number 12. The St. David Lady Tigers, number 3, and ranked in the open bracket at 23.
Wow.
Show them the ring. That's
well, we don't have the St. David
David's going to go get another one of those.
And we will be there. That was the second team we got to broadcast a championship celebration for. It was Breen, then it was St. David, then it was Bisbee. Last year was good for
this year
Cochise
it'll
County
be Buena.
sports.
A lot of championships, man.
No.
This year will be Buena.
It's the county of champions. There's 108,000 people, and 20% are state champions now. Wow. What's up? Let's get over to the 2A teams. The Bisbee Pumas currently number 30th, and the only team in 2A for the ladies outside of the postseason projections. Benson currently sitting at 18. The Wilcox Cowgirls currently 13, and the Tombstone Lady Yellow Jackets still in the top 10, but sliding a little bit, number 9. We go over to the 4A team. The Douglas Lady Bulldogs currently ranked number 12 in 4A, but they are ranked in the open bracket number 37.
Number 12. You see that record, Coach?
19 and 3.
Huh.
Okay.
Buena Lady Colts currently in, I do believe, if I'm doing my math correct, currently in a play-in situation, ranked 24th in 5A. So, again, a lot of teams
Right
on the
there.
cusp here. We cannot afford to mess around.
Right there.
You're going to bring it. You're going to bring it. You got to be a little bit
The
more
Lady Colts
selfish.
are definitely walking that line right now. They don't have any margin for error.
They got so much talent in that team.
Yeah. The Buena Lady Colts have got to just win this thing out. They got to win out because they're not going to give it to you, ladies.
I'm looking at London Richardson. This is what you said about Kingston Clark needing to be a little bit more selfish. We talked about with Kaylee Taylor needing to be a little bit more selfish. London, if it's not perfect, pop the 3. I saw your stroke. It is fine. It is fine.
Big threes at the McHale Center for London.
Feed that ball into Perez and Bullard Baker, the bigs. No one can handle them on the inside.
They're
We're
starting to
pulling
get it
for you,
together.
girls.
They won last night. They had really tough games over the last 2 weeks. I'm talking about playing opponents that scored 1,000 points, have really good players that are playing at the next level and stuff.
That girl at the McHale
really
Center,
good
oh my God.
women's teams they've played over the last week or two. And, that kind of, you either win or you learn. So they did a lot of learning in those 2 weeks, and I expected to turn
Either
around
win
for
or you
them.
learn.
Should have had that victory
Coach
at the
speak.
McHale Center, but like you said, Coach, learning how to close out those games. That's where the Colts are at now. They built the program up. They're in the games. And now they have to close the games out, learn how to win. Always the toughest. I've been saying that for years because when we had our high school program, we were 1-9, 2-8, and then we won conference at 5-5. And it took us halfway through the season. We were 1-4 to figure out how to win games. So that just is what it is. Let's jump over to the boys now. We'll start off again with the 1A teams. The San Simon Longhorns currently number 30. Valley Union number 38. Should have started with them. So neither team really in playoff contention right now unless they have a miracle run towards the end. The St. David Tigers, just like the Buena Lady Colts, right on the cusp, currently ranked 16. There are no playing games in 1A. It is just the top 16 or 12, I think. I don't know. It's one of those two. I hope it's 16 because that's what I just said.
Arizona with their funky rules, we never know.
Yeah, I know, right? Let's jump over to the 2A teams. The Tombstone Yellow Jackets riding a 3-game winning streak, currently ranked 41. The Benson Bobcats ranked 32 after that loss to Bisbee. The Wilcox Cowboys dropped to 31. Remember last week Wilcox was in postseason contention. They did lose to Morenci and the Tombstone Yellow Jackets. And right now the Bisbee Pumas ranked 28th. So right there, you got to jump up a few slots to get into that postseason contention.
Bisbee looks like the only team that really has a run at it, and they're going to have to go undefeated.
Now we jump over to our two most disrespected teams of all time, the Douglas Bulldogs. What's the Douglas Bulldog record? I forgot. 13-7, 4-0 in section, 2-game win streak. They're good enough for 23rd in 4A. No open ranking right now.
I'm sorry, Douglas. I'm going to give you a collective hug next time I'm down there, okay?
And probably the most disrespected team in all of AIA, the Buena Colts, after being on a 7-game win streak and currently 15-4, drop in the rankings 2 more spots to number 8, currently ranked 32 in the open bracket. Coach, thoughts?
We're fine with it. We understand that like I said, I forgot what team I was talking about, but the goal is to beat whoever's in front of you on any given night. You're not playing against those people. Normally, you're not playing against those people that are in your rankings, that are ranked above you or around your ranking. You got to play whoever's in front of you, and we've done a good job of that so far. And we're at a good point this week where we actually play a team that is in front of us on the rankings. And
good. We need some competition down here. Gosh darn it!
So like I said, you take care of business each game, and like you're supposed to, things will work themselves out by the end of the season.
Before we move on to stupid football and all that stuff, I want to take a note on that. Last night, you played a team that Desert View, they weren't going to win that game. And your team came out and played them like they were playing for the state finals. Your team beat them in intensity. They beat them in every X factor. And that's what I love to see about what's going on, because you are lacking in competition right now. You are winning games by 30 and 40 points. And yet the boys are going out there playing like they're playing for the title. They're bringing that intensity, that need of perfection. They're not just looking past their opponents. They're playing like they're playing for the title. I've said it all night during the broadcast. I don't know if you watch broadcast, how well coached the Buena Colts are right now. They're playing within themselves. They're playing the team concept. They're playing harder than their opponents. Like, they were out rebounding Desert View last night. They were playing the full court press. Yeah. They were they're playing and it's tough to maintain that intensity when you're blowing these people out. Yeah. You know what I mean? But there they are, getting better and better and better. I just want kudos to you because they're well coached.
We feed the compliments a lot. Some people might call us fanboys of Coach Dennis Baker, but I mean,
you can see the product on the floor. Like, they outworked Desert View last night. They're the better team. They could have won that game with their JV team, and yet they still outworked them anyway.
And that answer from Coach Dennis Baker encapsulates perfectly. I love your demeanor on the sideline, but right there's a fire raging inside Dennis Baker right now. It's like, we're beating teams by 40 points and we drop by 2. And what's he say is like, we can only beat who we can. Keep the emotions out of it. You're like, whatever you're feeling on the inside, that's not what anybody needs to hear.
We'll keep pistol whipping the blanket. It's fine.
That's what I mean, he's lucky he's got us here to say everything he's feeling, for sure.
I appreciate it. And I appreciate the compliments and all that. And I'm grateful and humble. I try to take it in all humility because I'm just blessed to be where we are and have what we have. But I do take that as the greatest compliment for you guys noticing how hard our boys play, because it's not always easy to, like what you said, when you know you're
going
the
to
better
win.
team and you know you're going to win, or when winning is not in question, sometimes it's hard to play hard. So I'm glad that it's noticeable, because we actually focus a lot on just that very thing.
And that's how you're going to beat the big teams, with that work ethic.
Exactly right. We want to play hard no matter who our opponent is, because when the opponent gets tougher, it's already a habit for you to play that style. And
you can't just turn it on. You can't, can't just turn on the switch and be like, all right, it's time now, boys.
Right. Exactly right.
Yeah, Steph Curry plays in Golden State. He's the only other person that can do it. But I would like to, one more time, point out how good the Buena Colts boys team is. They had 10 points to Desert View's one shot.
Yeah.
One shot last night.
Yeah,
before they got their second shot.
Yeah.
And again, it's effort. You know what I mean? Like, the Buena, they're playing every opponent like it's their last, and that's all you can ask for out of these kids.
Yeah, they're bought in. They're bought into knowing that, hey, if this really is a special season, like we've been telling them it's been for a year. If you really believe that, then they know that it's because of our defense, and we can be dominant defensively. And when they're playing with that mentality, it shows up offensively too, because we get easier looks and things like that. But when we're flying around playing defense at the level that we know that we can and they've been, we're going to be tough to beat. And they want that more than me. They want it for themselves. We have a great group of seniors that they're just, hungry for this, and they get out there and show it. And you guys, notice that even as we go deep into the rotation, our second group and then the third group, those guys are hungry for it too. They want to play. They want to actually play more. So the challenge of me as a coach is trying to find time and opportunity for not just the reserve players, but those after those guys.
You're managing the bench perfectly. So. Like, they're getting valuable minutes at the end of these games. You're managing the bench perfectly. I don't know if you noticed, Criado came over to me at halftime.
Speaking of,
what's that?
Sorry, Alex Normer Criado says, "Thank you, Coach, for all that you do." Continue, Dave. What a segue! It's like he's a professional or something.
Yeah. Criado came over to me at halftime last night to say hi, and they were calling all those ticky-tack fouls. You had 10 team fouls in the second quarter last night, and and something I was talking to Sam about, something that we did when I was a kid, is play defense without your hands. You know what I mean? If they're going to keep calling that nonsense on you, it's all about your footwork and being in the right position. Put your hands behind your back, like, call a foul on me now. Right. You know what I mean?
We saw it. the best basketball player I've ever seen
Mendez.
live. Jose
Mendez would play with his
every
without his
time
hands. He
would put his
play
hands
defense.
behind his back and just be in
Like,
fouls.
foul me. Like, you
and
can't
Dave's
foul
like,
me.
oh, he's a baller, or whatever. The first time he saw it,
But it's something we did when I was a kid. If they're going to call that ticky-tack nonsense on you,
And
play without your hands.
That's
like,
a
it's
normal
fine.
thing for us too, because especially lately when you're up big, the officials have a way of kind of neutralizing the game a little bit. And
Yeah,
because
they
of
did.
our-
Yeah, they
mercy calls. I can't
all
stand
day.
Some of it is too is you saw it. You guys alluded to how they didn't get a shot up for however long in the first quarter, or whatever. That's a large part because of the aggressive nature of the defense, and a lot of times that looks really physical. And if you want to call everything, you probably could call. So we accept those calls as well. So we're not even complaining about it.
There's
That's how
nothing
we
more
play.
fun than Booker's
Jamie
face
Booker.
because he wears everything. So there was a play last night where the ball was out of bounds at Desert View, and Booker goes running up court, and they call it ball, and he's like. Like Booker's face, like he wears it like a basketball player. Like if you want to know how the game is going, just watch his face, and he'll tell you everything you need to know. I love
Definitely
it.
Hooper. But again, teams, that's going to do it for our high school coverage. We've got a lot of disrespected teams, none more than the Buena Colts. I'm sorry to make it the Buena Colt hour because the Douglas Bulldogs, both teams have a gripe about that.
Yeah.
The Bisbee Pumas being outside.
No, Bisbee's winning by 40.
Yeah,
Or, excuse me, Buena's winning by 40 every game.
Bisbee started to put it on.
Buena's winning by 40.
Benson should probably be up there.
I don't know what
For the
you're supposed to
Lady Bobcat should be in terms of getting a playoff game past but it is what it is.
I'll tell my players and everybody watching this, and my players watch this too. They watch it afterwards. Like if they feel disrespected by the ranking, then they need to prove it this week because you play two great teams
Micah Mountain.
Thursday and Friday. Cienega and Micah Mountain, yes, and.
Back to back.
That'll fix everything. The rankings will reflect a little bit more in your favor and stuff like that. If you feel disrespected,
go ahead and beat Micah Mountain by 20, and then
just
tell me
because they
what
don't think that you're good enough to beat these teams, and we need to show that we.
I'll put money on it. Buena beats Cienega. Buena's ranked 6th. Cienega's ranked 5th after the game. That's just what's going to happen. So.
You never know. I just know.
Well, you got to win in Cienega, though. That's a tough one.
It is absolutely.
That's a tough game.
But
Not the longest travel day though.
Because their fans show up.
Oh wow!
It's going to be tough.
Don't say it like that.
gonna be
do
tough.
it subtly like I do. This Buena team can really draw a crowd. Man.
Well, 'cause, I put that post in the Sierra Vista Facebook yesterday, and we had people commenting. 2 years ago, that student section was roaring. Like,
I was
what
there.
are we doing?
I was there.
God, it just makes me. We have the best team in Southern Arizona. Come on, people. There's 1,000 seats in that gym.
They got the best video production team in the state of Arizona, not for high school, for anything.
I wish they'd come work with us.
And
upgrade our quality.
Asher, we're looking at you. Shout out Asher in the Buena.
All right, well, let's move. See, now here's the thing. I was going to do 3-question quizzing for Pizzy because you made it very clear 1 week ago today that you weren't talking about it, but apparently you want to talk about football anyways. So I'm throwing the 3-question for Pizzy out the window. Talk about your championship games.
That's not what happened, but okay. I'm not gonna break the fourth wall. I knew he was doing that. Here we go. Let's talk about the championship games, and let's start off with the NFC championship games. Now, just to recap, Paul Corder predicted Chiefs Eagles Super Bowl before the playoffs started. Dave, who did you take in the NFC championship? The Commanders. Coach, you took the Eagles.
Eagles, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I had the Commanders.
Hey, and it's fine. Everyone was taking the Commanders. Everyone forgot that they played the NFC South champion, which is always a wash as long as Tom Brady's not there. And they played a team that had 18 people on injured reserve. So that's what when I said the Eagles were the only juggernaut in the NFC, that's what it was. The Lions had 18 people on injured reserve. It was no disrespect to the Lions.
Right.
Oh wow! I just covered my first 2 points.
Apparently, don't play defense at all.
So let's play a game. When did you know that the Eagles were going to win?
What happened?
Let's play a game. When did you know the Eagles were going to win?
The first running play from Saquon.
Exactly. The first running play.
Because the Commanders
Commanders.
had a 13-play drive, methodical drive. They looked like, okay, we're here. We're standing on business. And Saquon's like, yeah, here, hold my drink.
Saquon finished with 15 carries, 118 yards, and 3 touchdowns in this ball game. The Eagles ran the ball 36 times for 229 yards and 7 touchdowns. It's got to be a postseason record For sure. Jalen Hurts
That's
threw a
college football
touchdown,
stuff right there.
246
Defense.
yards, also had 3 rushing touchdowns, and hopefully we get that tush-push ban, but you never know. That thing is annoying to watch. Anyway, we're not going to get into that. Jaden Daniels on the other side had a passing touchdown, a running touchdown in this ball game, but it did look like when I first saw the game, he looked a little inaccurate, and it looked like the moment might have been too big for him.
That's not what I saw. I saw. Never mind. Go ahead. I'm going to wait for my diatribe. You guys talk it out. You guys have a good time.
All right, so we're going to have the football discussion now.
Well, I would say, I think maybe the moment is too big for him. But, it's easy to say that when we have a rookie quarterback this far. It's like any loss, that's what we're going to put it on.
Some story happened.
He's not ready, right?
And he got it in his head but it was just the inaccuracies. It was 2 easy grounded passes that were like 12 yards downfield.
But I also think giving up 55 points, 7 touchdowns is not on him.
No, and it was always going to be an uphill battle because that defense in Washington is not good.
You remember those playoff games that would be like 6-9 or 13?
You mean the Super Bowl between the Rams and the Patriots?
I mean, it used to be playoff, hard-nosed football, running game, and it was these low-scoring games. I feel like Jaden Daniels, if Commanders could defensively give him that type of performance, maybe he can manage his way through that and get through it. So I maybe it is true, moment a little bit too big for him, but I wouldn't put the loss on him.
No, I'm not
that on the defense.
I'm not putting the loss on him. I'm not even putting on the defense, but it is tough to win with 4 turnovers.
Yeah.
And
true.
so that's
True.
4 fumbles
True.
going the way of the Eagles' way, and that was basically your ball game there because they were in it going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
So I think what we saw this postseason with the Eagles run is there was no NFC team that had talent enough to stop all the Eagles' weapons, and they tried to focus on A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. You have to stop number 26.
Stop that running game first.
And the biggest postseason takeaway is the takeaways for the Philadelphia Eagles is they turned the ball over 10 times and gave the ball away 0. They have a plus 10 turnover margin going into the Super Bowl.
Well, any football coach would tell you, well, that's
Pretty
obvious. That if you do that, you're going
Well,
to the Super Bowl.
yeah. You win the turnover battle on that kind of a margin. You're going to
They
win.
they turned over. Oh, who was the first? It wasn't the Buccaneers. They turned the first team. They turned the Rams over twice, Washington over 4 times, and whoever they played 4 times.
Are you done with the Sirianni hate now, or can we leave Sirianni
Me?
alone?
No, I still hate Sirianni. I'm the only one defending him, though. I said you can't sit here and say that the quarterback stinks and the coach stinks and then go to the Super Bowl 2 out of 3 years. For my money, I hate Nick Sirianni, but you got to give credit somewhere, and I give credit to Nick Sirianni for calling his coordinators. He lost both his coordinators 2 years ago. Now he's got his coordinators back in there. The culture doesn't seem to be right, but Saquon's not going to let it go off the rails this year, is what we saw. I give Sirianni more credit than I give Jalen Hurts, even though I do think Jalen Hurts is probably going to have 500 yards in the Super Bowl, but that's just what it is. All right, let's get over to the Chiefs and Bills. The Chiefs versus Bills, number 4, Allen versus Patrick Mahomes. And I think my biggest takeaway for the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen is Josh Allen ended the game the same way he started it, a little bit nervous and a little bit antsy. And the reason I say that is he missed the protection slide, and he slid the team to the left. Blitz came from the right. That's fine. The blitz comes from the right. He's obviously going to try to throw it into the blitz. That's what you're normally comfortable with doing. But then there was a corner coming in, so he missed that. But to your point, off camera, Coach, he made the throw. And in that situation, Dalton Kincaid has to make that catch. I think if you go and ask Buffalo fans, you have the ball 3:33 and 3 timeouts. I said, Dave's got the text. I said, this game's over. Josh Allen's going to get the first down. They're going to get inside the 10. They're going to run the clock out. This is going to be the last possession. And he went 4 and out. So a little bit nervy from Allen.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't even say maybe a little bit nervous because of Josh Allen. The Josh Allen nerves. Maybe I see it a little differently. I think he's like a hero type of quarterback. He's one of those MVP candidate guys, much like Patrick Mahomes, much like Lamar Jackson, where the whole team is depending on them to win the game. Even and at times you're going to have to make heroic plays, and I felt like him making that throw, the one that we're talking about, Kincaid drop, that was his heroic play. If he makes that catch, that's on every highlight as the
that's
play
Eli
of the
Manning,
game.
David Tyree stuff.
Yes, because the blitz came out of nowhere. It's 4th down. He chunks it up, and the play is made. They're probably going to run the clock out, have the last possession. My money would say they'd probably win the game. And we're having
if they do it right. It's the Buffalo Bills, and they're notorious and known for bad game
But I mean,
management.
I would say analytically, for example, if he was to catch that ball, I'd probably say the analytics would tell you Bills have an 88% chance of winning that game or something like that. But I think if that happens, so he made his hero effort. Dalton Kincaid needs to make his hero effort, much like the David Tyree play. It's both. Quarterback has to make a hero throw. Somebody's going to make a hero play on the other end. Not able to make it there. But if it was, I wonder if we're having the same conversation about Josh Allen, or are we having a completely different conversation? Like, okay, he finally got that, monkey off his back of Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, and this is the true MVP of our league, maybe, and probably picking him to beat the Eagles. And no, Dalton Kincaid can't make the catch, even though everybody's doing their job. I mean, the offensive line, everybody. Just got to make that
Except
catch.
for Josh Allen. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Just got to make that catch. And, the game is like that. It's like one play not made here or played there, and it changes the whole narrative of the game.
I'm not going to put everything on Josh Allen, but for Josh Allen, I felt like the numbers are going to give him a better game than he actually did play. And one of the reasons I did think analytically why the Chiefs were going to win this game is because what Josh Allen was doing all year is he was protecting the football. And Josh Allen this game did not want to protect that football. First drive, he threw 2 passes, should have been intercepted. 7 turnover-worthy plays from Josh Allen, including 4 fumbles. The Buffalo Bills recovered all 5 fumbles. For my money, the talent of the Chiefs was way ahead of the Buffalo Bills, and they got a little lucky to even stay in that game. And I will say, Josh Allen had made plays throughout the game that no other quarterback could have made. The Mac Hollins throw, that's incredible. It just the run game. They should have stuck to the run game because the pass game was very difficult, and it was Josh Allen putting on a Superman cape. So that's what that was.
No, I agree with you too. I think even though I say that about Josh Allen making the hero play that could have won the game, throughout the game I felt like the Chiefs were a better team. They seemed like they were scoring more easy and moving the ball a little bit more easy. It seemed like Buffalo found something in the running game, but they had to find it. It kind of came late. And then whenever they really needed it, I'm talking about the Chiefs, they got to stop the running game. I had issue with the play calls for the tush push play, the controversial play. I don't know. Just go shotgun and run QB draw or that play, or
because it hasn't
give him a
been
run
stopped
pass option
all year.
So
and I know the quarterback sneaks for the Bills haven't been stopped all year, but they were stopped in this game. So just drop
Multiple
Josh.
times.
Just
every time
drop
he
him back
got it,
5 yards. Let him get ahead of steam.
You talked about the fumble, even the fumble. You almost lost the possession trying to do the tush push play, and it was so close every time. Why would they keep doing that? And especially in such a crucial moment when you had more success doing other things. So I'm kind of down on the coaching. I feel like that was bad coaching. I'm sure they wish they had those calls back.
For sure. I think you touched it. I think the Chiefs had a perfect game plan. Andy Reid went into his bag of tricks. What was not known is they ran the ball twice for touchdowns on plays they've never run before.
Patrick Mahomes running the ball.
Those
What
plays,
the heck?
if you looked at it, the Baltimore Ravens actually ran those plays for touchdowns in the postseason against the Bills. So you never know what Andy Reid's going to pull out. I think Patrick Mahomes is nearly perfect.
Quarterback into the defense like that, man. Like, Mahomes dropping his shoulder on people. Like, that's a $500 million man out there.
that's
It
little
is, but it's
dangerous.
the postseason. That's why.
Yeah, got to win.
I mean, that
one touchdown
Josh
he ran
Allen
in
will
where
do
I
it.
was like, whoa.
Josh Allen will do it.
$500 million
and I
man.
think he doesn't. Even Josh doesn't do it because now it's not about game and now we're talking about season management.
Yeah.
And admittedly, both teams in the regular season game thought they were going to see each other in the playoffs again, so they didn't show anything. The Bills didn't show anything. The Chiefs didn't show anything.
Yeah,
and
right.
I mean that's just part of the season management. It's like, yeah, we want to win, but can we do it? Not giving the Bills any tips or giving the Chiefs any tips on what we might do. I think Patrick played his best game of the season. I think he was near perfect. They did have the fumble. Money, our former quarterback, says Isaiah Pacheco was too fast at the mesh point. He puts it on him. I said Patrick needed to be stronger with the ball. It is what it is. James was cooking. 13 carries, 85 yards, 2 touchdowns, and very much another negative for the Buffalo Bills. I do believe it was
20
coaching.
touchdowns on the year.
I believe it was coaching malpractice to not have James Cook in on the last drive at all. Now, maybe they were trying to spell him and keep him for like the Chiefs side of the field. They thought they were going to get there. But James Cook not on the field, and your team goes 4 and out.
That was tough.
The game,
I believe they ran on first down, but it wasn't Cook.
No, it wasn't. It was the other. It was 2-6. I don't know what his name. Sorry, supposed to be an analyst.
And that's when I was talking about the Chiefs. Actually, when they needed a stop, they got that stop on first down, held them to 0 or maybe -1 yard, and then it took the running game out of that possession.
Mm-hmm.
So, and until they wanted to run that tush push on 4th down. So, yeah.
Well, we'll talk about another big player, Xavier
Sure
Worthy.
we'll talk more about that or hear more about that soon.
Oh, no, we're not going to hear anything about football. Xavier Worthy had 8 touches, 101 yards, and a touchdown, so he was the biggest weapon on the field, the rookie for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Chiefs' offensive line, a big story, has been lights out since all-pro left guard Joe Tooney moved to tackle, which is going to be a detriment against Jalen Carter and the Philadelphia Eagles because we'll need him on the inside if we keep him at
your
tackle.
eyeballs.
And I do want to say, missed storyline of the game wasn't about the game at all. How did Christian Benford pass? They put him on an excused absence personal day, so he didn't have to go to concussion protocol, and they just put him in the game. And then Christian Benford has to be carted off the. He had to be carted off the field, and it wasn't even a bad hit. So.
He got knocked out.
Do better. Anyway, Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl. That's my thoughts on the game. Dave, who's winning the Super Bowl? One-word answer. We'll do it next week. We have 2 weeks to who's winning the Pro Bowl? That's not even a game anymore. I haven't watched the Pro Bowl in so long.
Do they still play?
I know they have skills. I can't even wrap my mind around the Super Bowl. Ask me next week. I'll have figured it out. I can't wrap my mind around it.
The Super Bowl America won. It didn't happen again.
I'm going Chiefs.
Well, I'm obviously going Chiefs, so I was just asking you guys. But that's going to do it for all of our sports coverage right now. That's going to leave it up to Dave Davies, who said he had a few topics to go to. Do I need a disclaimer?
I don't know.
The thoughts and opinions of Dave Davies don't necessarily or don't reflect that of his co-broadcaster, Coach Dennis Baker. I think we need to re-emphasize that one. Nobody knows what he's going to talk about. Synergy Home Care, Cool FM Live, or the Sierra Vista Golf Center. Dave, take it away.
We got a tea time. I'm going to make this quick. The Super Bowl is here. We get to watch the Super Bowl. Thank God. I have been mentally breaking up with football for the last 3 or 4 years. This year, I've even gotten even better about it. Like, I spend Sundays with my wife hiking in the mountains. I'm not overly committed to this anymore. So many reasons for that. You watched it all week with the NFC Championship game, with the AFC Championship game. You know what I'm tired of? We get done with these games, and what do I see? We're not talking about football. We're talking about, did Josh Allen get the first down? Did Dalton Kincaid get the first down? Did Jalen Carter, should he have gotten 5 yards even though he took the man's eyeball out of his face intentionally to weaken the center? We're not talking about football anymore. We're talking about every other thing. Should this have gone wrong? Should this play have been it's tiring. It's a soap opera. Of course Josh Allen got the gosh darn first down. But no, we don't play that. No, exactly. We're going to sit there and argue about whether he got the first down or not. Not who the better football team is, but how did the referees screw this thing up again? I am tired of the NFL. I've been breaking up with it. I am getting closer and closer to being permanently done with it. I don't watch the NBA anymore. I don't watch Major League Baseball. I'm off for the year, baby. Unless we're talking about Augusta, unless we're talking about the UFC, I'm going to go watch me some high school sports. I don't like the NFL anymore. It's so tiring. It's a soap opera. It's drama. It's not about football anymore. You thought I was too nice last week? You suck, NFL. You suck, Roger Goodell. I can't stand your product. Like, it's an addiction. It's the only reason why I was watching the AFC Championship game. I could have been hanging out with my grandkids, but I said, honey, no, I need to watch this. And what did I get? What was my reward of that? Controversial play. By the way, was that an incomplete pass or was that what was that? Was that a complete pass? Or was it an interception or was it an incomplete pass? It was an incomplete pass.
I would have called it.
And what they do, they give the Chiefs the ball in the 10. I'm tired. The Super Bowl is here. I'm not even going to remember the game. I'm going to be at your house. I'm going to be eating the food. I'm going to be having the Jell-O. I'm not even going to remember the game at the party. I don't care. Have fun with your NFL. I'll pretend to care next year.
I don't want to rile
I'm
Dave
really good about
Davies up.
pretending to care about the NFL.
Dave can read the comment afterwards from
What?
Barbie Night. It's like, I don't want to rile you up right now. But
What?
yeah, I
What?
will.
What'd she say?
One thing she
What'd she
said,
say?
you weren't like that when your team was good.
I don't remember anybody going, boy, Seattle won by that controversial play because we beat Denver 55-3. Like, I don't remember anybody saying that. We didn't take any controversy for Seattle to get to the Super Bowl. We just beat the crap out of people. So anyways,
Wasn't
enough
like
of
that
this
until this
mediocre
year.
team in the Super Bowl against some other team that wants to beat themselves up. Who cares? I don't. Israel Adesanya fights on Saturday. I'll see you there.
Well, let's go back to the
That's all I have to
text
say. No,
messages.
the diatribe's over. The show's over. We're not going to rant on for 20 minutes after the diatribe. We have a tea time. The show is over.
No, I'm just saying because you said the catch. If you remember what I told you, I was like, I'm glad, or I wish they would have. They wish they wouldn't have called it a catch because now Josh Allen has time. And what Josh Allen do? He went down and got the touchdown.
You know what I hate? Let's go ahead and talk about that play. Let's talk about the Tony Romo and Jim Nantz and Sterator. Talk about when they thought it was a catch. Oh, we're good. What a play. Golden Tate rule. And the moment that they were reviewed for an interception, well, that ball might have hit the ground. So, just in case, if it was an interception, that ball hit the ground. So, it's a joke. It's a joke. The moment that they thought that play could be overturned to go to Buffalo, the whole commentating thing switched around real quick. Whoa, it might have been an incomplete pass. If it wasn't a catch for Kansas City, it was definitely an incomplete pass. It's a joke. I'm tired of the NFL. Hold on.
Right. I'm going to go, folks.
Hold on.
I will say the only
Thank God it's
touchdowns
over.
the Buffalo
Thank
Bills
God
scored
it's
in the
over.
first half was on false starts that were missed. Anyway, thank you to Synergy Home Care, 520-685-1035 for all your non-medical home care coverage.
Thank you to Coach Dennis Baker. Thank you to the
Thank
Buena
you.
Colts.
Thank
You're the
you.
real show, not the stupid NFL. Thank you
I'll
to Sierra
take it.
Vista Golf Center, Pueblo
take
Del
it.
Sol. I'm going to be out there in about 20 minutes, baby. Come down here. The weather's beautiful. The golf is cheap. It's a championship course. Let's have some fun. Thank you to Paul Condor. Thank you to Coach Dennis Baker. I'm Dave Davies. We'll see you at Cochise College tomorrow night with Paul Condor.